All right, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time you're watching this video. I'd like to thank all of my subscribers, all of my viewers for taking the time out to watch this video because I'm going to pretty much explain Deion's main reason why he chose to go to Colorado. And a lot of it's biblical, okay? Because, Deion Sanders is a man of God. He's a man of faith, just like myself. And I'm going to explain to you why he does what he did. And if people have been paying attention to Deion, if you're a fan of Deion, you've been watching Jackson State football, and you've been watching his journey up until now, then you understand why he had to do this. And this video goes out to the ones who don't get it. All these so-called pro-blacks, the Dr. Umar Johnson, my son, right? Everybody, what was it? Comedy Hype, Pierre. Everybody except for that co-host. This is for all the people who have criticized Deion for leaving Jackson State and HBCU and going to Colorado. And they don't understand that this is bigger than you and I. What Deion is doing, Deion is making black history. Because by him leaving to go to a Power 5, this school here is he's the first black head coach ever hired over there to take this position. That's something that's never been done before at all. And this is a team that has not seen any championships since the 1990s. So for years they've been a drought. It's been a real losing. They've been a laughing stock pretty much. For years they've been in a real drought. So people need to understand this man is a condor of change. And in all of Deion's speeches, everywhere he goes he mentions God. So now I'm going to read to you something from the book of Exodus, and this is the 19th chapter, verse 5. And it says, "Now if you obey me fully and keep my covenant, then out of all nations you will be my treasured possession." Let me read that again. It says in Exodus 19, chapter 19, verse 5, it says, "Now if you obey me fully and keep my covenant, then out of all nations you will be my treasured possession." So in other words, God treasures Deion Sanders. He triumphs in victory. You see, triumph is victory. You see, triumph is an event in time in which you defeated your opponent. To triumph over somebody means it's an event that took place, but victory is always celebrated. You basically can't triumph over somebody unless you have the victory, and Deion Sanders has the victory. And I want people to know that Deion Sanders owes Jackson State nothing. He ain't the only black Hall of Famer out there. You see, if the president actually gave a damn about Jackson State and actually cared about putting money into the program, even before Deion came, Deion saved that entire organization. He saved that entire city. Okay? Deion has done more than enough for them. Before Deion came, nobody cared about the football team. That field was ran down, raggedy, old gear, old helmets. Nobody cared about them young folks. But when Deion came around, he put $500,000 of his own money into that program and made it what it was. The reason why those kids got Under Armour is because of Deion. The reason why they get to walk around in brand new gear and jackets and coats and sweaters is because of Deion getting all that going. Selling out crowds, selling out stadiums because of Deion. And according to Deion Sanders, Jackson State didn't honor themselves fully. Of course, they're going to come out there and say you're lying. But it's two sides to every story. God knows. And one thing you got to stand about Deion, he's a man of God, so he listens to God. God told him, yeah, you need it elsewhere. The man says he's a condor of change. That means he's needed to go spread love and change things somewhere else. And what people got to understand, there are black folks everywhere, including Colorado. When that man landed in Colorado, you saw all those black folks out there, standing out there, waiting for Deion Sanders. Again, this Colorado football team is 1-11. See, the people that's talking about Deion ain't been watching. Now, I was out there in Mississippi in 2020. Now, for those who were subscribed to my previous channel, ZTR, you see, I did a couple of videos out there in Jackson State. Well, yeah, in Jackson, Mississippi. I was in Clinton at the time, but I got family that stay in Jackson. I lived in Jackson when I was younger in my Rugrat days. And then for those who have me on social media, on my Instagram and Facebook, I posted a picture of that stadium, thanking Deion for what he did, for coming over there and taking the time out to help those young men. So I'm real about what I'm talking about. And what people need to, like Dr. Umar Johnson and all these black folks that's criticizing Deion need to realize that Deion Sanders ain't the only black Hall of Famer that's out there. Instead of criticizing Deion for leaving, how about encouraging somebody like Jerome Bettis, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Josh Norman, somebody like Ronnie Lott, his boy, Deion's boy Nate Newton, somebody like that to come around. Kim, what was it, Norton Jr., who coaches the Seahawks, won't y'all encourage him to take the job? Yeah, you got Eddie George, but he ain't the only one out there. They need to stop acting like Deion supposed to be a savior, supposed to stay there. No, man, Deion could do what Deion wants to do. No, Deion won Jackson State 2 back-to-back championships. And I like what Deion did. Deion told his kids up front that he was leaving. He told them that already. Deion was honest about with his team. That's why they got nothing negative to say about him. The media ain't gonna show you those. And shouts out to his son Deion Sanders Jr. Because Deion Sanders Jr. is running to me and he's showing you what's going on behind the scenes. The same people that's criticizing Deion, they ain't putting no money into no HBCU. So Roland Martin and Charlamagne the God is right. If you have not supported any HBCUs in the last 15, 20 years, and if you have not encouraged any black coaches that are retired Hall of Famers like Deion to take these jobs, then you should not be complaining about what Deion is doing. I'm going to be very honest. Now, let me tell you Deion's main purpose for going over there. Yeah, because one, God told him to do it, but two, there's black folks that need Deion as well, just as badly. And like Deion said, there's only 70% of black players in the NCAA, and most of them is at these HBCUs. He even said there's not enough black head coaches that's getting opportunities at these Power 5s. So he has a problem with that. 3, okay, is that he's making a way for his sons, like Shedeur Sanders. Deion wants Shedeur to be a top prospect in the NFL, a top 5 draft pick. You're not gonna be a top 5 draft pick at HBCU. Don't get me wrong, it's been done before. We've seen this with Jerry Rice, but that's just one out of however many that's in there. He's like 1 out of 1,000. Okay, normally the NFL prospects, the recruits, these general managers and presidents don't draft out of a HBCU first. They go to schools like Oregon, Georgia, Alabama, Clemson, Michigan and Michigan State, Texas A&M, right? Your Utah, your Boston College, Florida, FSU, his alma mater, them schools. Okay? So that's another reason why when he went over there. And if you notice, if you follow Deion was Shedeur's head coach for most of Shedeur's football career. Since he was in Pop Warner, Deion was always there. And everybody supported LeVar Ball for his sons in the Big Baller brand. LeVar Ball made sure all 3 of his sons made it to the pros, which they did. So Deion is trying to do the same thing for his kids. 4th reason. Deion wants a higher percentage of the men he's coaching to go to the NFL. Because if you watched a lot of his speeches on YouTube that Deion Sanders Jr. posts, he said in one of the videos, there's 90% of you who are talented, but only 5% of you, there's 100%. Only 5% of 90 of you are going to go to the pros. And the man said he prayed to God that it wasn't true. Now, suddenly, by him going to Colorado, that 5% just became 10%, which could later on increase to 15, then 20. Okay? That's another reason. Going to a school like Colorado and turn that around will increase his chances of getting more guys to the NFL. If not, then the XFL, which is that's a guarantee, that's a given. He's already done work with Dwayne Johnson, which nobody's even talking about, which is sad. Black folks that complain that the NFL is racist, they're not even supporting the XFL, which is owned by Dwayne Johnson's ex-wife, Danny Garcia, who is Cuban. Ain't no white folks running the XFL. And Deion had a showcase hosted down there on his Jackson State football field when he was still there. Now, how many people have actually been talking about it? Right? Again, people that say they pro-black, they really pro-black. They just pro-black when they want to complain about somebody. So that's another reason why he chose to go over there. Right? And the fifth reason, and I want people to really pay attention to this, because I think I did a video on this earlier in the summertime. Nick Saban started a big old controversy blaming Deion for paying money, like $1 million to get Travis Hunter to play for him instead of going to Alabama. He even got on Jimbo Fisher. Now Jimbo Fisher called him out openly, and even Deion Sanders said, "Well, I don't see what the problem was." Nick Saban is jealous of Deion Sanders because Deion took the best corner, the top high school prospect, Travis Hunter, the best cornerback that they were looking at, chose to go to Jackson State instead of going to Alabama. So Nick Saban was feeling some type of way. Deion wants to prove to Nick Saban and the rest of the world in the NCAA football that he doesn't need money to recruit somebody. People want to play for him. Travis Hunter chose to go to Deion because Deion is a Hall of Fame corner they looked up to. Don't get me wrong now, Saban is Saban, and Saban has had a good, 10 plus years. He dominated a whole decade. I'm not taking nothing from Nick Saban. But Nick Saban ain't the only coach out there. Everybody don't want to play for Alabama. So I believe Deion chose to go over there to turn a 1-11 team, the sorriest team in football, in NCAA football, to prove to Nick Saban that he is that good. He gonna show him the reason why he's prime time. And I would love to see Alabama and Colorado University here in a national championship game next season, because Deion is definitely coming. And I have everybody know, because I'm pretty sure everybody ain't been paying attention, that over 1,000 players have entered the transport portal and supposedly are rumored to be on their way to Colorado. This man here just made the school hot. Colorado is officially the hottest school right now. That's the most talked about. And I can guarantee you, even if Jason Willock, the people say is not going to be successful with that, by the start of next season, by preseason, he going to have at least 22 starters of nothing but 5-star recruits. The man already got Sammy Watkins, his little brother, coming over there already. That's committed. He got one of Nick Saban's running backs. He got like 6 Oklahoma players coming through. The man is not playing games. He said, "I'm coming." Watch those interviews, because the people that's complaining about Deion have not been following him at all. They know damn well they don't watch no HBC football at all. None. They did not watch the bowl game when he beat Alabama State. They wasn't watching none of this. Why they running their mouth talking? But them themselves have not contributed to any black historic college. So they need to just be quiet, appreciate this man, and get on by their business. It's not like Deion didn't give it to another man. Deion basically showed Coach TC, his assistant head coach, how to win. Now he's going to let TC run it while he gone. And Deion has respected JSU by finishing with him. That man told Colorado, again, weeks before that press even came out, that he was going to Jackson State to win that championship. Then after he's done with Jackson State, it's back to business, fully with Colorado, which is his new home now. And the sixth reason, the man recently got robbed. That's the final reason why this man is leaving. When he said that Colorado is virtually safer, the man out lying. At least twice now, Deion and his family, right, his son Shador, was robbed. Where somebody ran in that man's office and stole that man's credit card and his wallet. Stole money from Deion. And the president did nothing about it. And so for Dr. Hart to say that he wished this man would fail, that's the devil. Again, the power to talk is real. You don't wish no man fail. You don't need to be talking like that, because you reap what you sow. What goes around comes around. And me personally, I'm supporting Colorado University. Don't get me wrong now, I'm a USC fan. I love my Trojans. I grew up watching Reggie Bush and Lindell White, Carson Palmer, Troy Polamalu, Ray Maluga, Matt Barkley, Mark Sanchez. Right, all those players. But for Deion Sanders, again, he's doing this for black people. I got to support the brother. He's the only black coach in that division. Most of the black head coaches are all with these HBCUs. And again, if it was really about the bag, if Deion was really a sellout like y'all say he is, that man would have chose Florida State, which is his alma mater. Which I wouldn't blame him if he went to Florida State, because he played for them. The man won a Heisman, defensive, I think it was a Heisman Trophy, if I'm not mistaken. He won an award with Florida State back in the 80s, late 80s. The man played for Florida State. One of my cousin-in-law, Tim Brown, played at Notre Dame. They're all around the same draft class. This is also when Michael Irvin was with the Hurricanes and with Jimmy Johnson. Come from that era. But yeah, if that was really the case, because Florida State has way more money in Colorado and Jackson State combined, that man could have went to Florida State instead back in 2020 and been winning back-to-back ACC championships with the Seminoles. And probably been won a national championship by now, beating either Alabama, Clemson, LSU, or in this case, Georgia. The man would have been in the playoffs as we speak, if that was really the case. And if Deion Sanders would have went to Florida, there would be no Jackson State University. There would be no Colorado at all. Everybody be going to Florida State. He'll be on over there. So stop talking about Deion Sanders. Because none of you were there. You don't know what's going on. Nobody researched anything, but they talk it out they behind. And I understand that Umar Johnson is trying to look out for black folks, but look, brother, what has Dr. Umar Johnson done for HBCUs? It's not like our Dr. Umar Johnson goes send money to encourage somebody like Jerome Bettis to be a head coach. I guarantee that's not going to happen. He's not going to encourage Marvin. He ain't going to put money to encourage Marvin Lewis. He's not going to encourage Kenny Vaccaro, Anthony Lynn, all former NFL head coaches like Nick Saban was, to go coach at HBCU. Dr. Umar Johnson's not going to do that while he's running his damn mouth. Charlamagne the God is right. And Charlamagne the God him and the Breakfast Club have donated thousands of dollars to HBCUs. And Charlamagne the God was trying to point out to Dr. Umar Johnson that this is all about Deion don't owe you nothing. It's not like he said Deion Sanders ain't the only one out there. Jackson State, these HBCUs could continue to be successful if they manage it properly. He ain't the only black Hall of Famer out there. But Dr. Umar Johnson is not going to put no money. He ain't gonna write no check and encourage none of these black athletes to go coach at HBCU. And there's plenty of them. You got Vince Woolfolk out there, right? You got Jerry Rice. Why ain't nobody talking to Jerry? That's what I'm still trying to figure out. There's Randy Moss. Yeah, speaking of Jerry Rice, he coached against Deion at an All-NFL Pro Bowl recently, back in 2013, 2014. Why isn't Dr. Umar Johnson encouraging Jerry Rice in a conversation to go join HBCU? Explain that. No, y'all need to stop running your mouth and be happy for this man. Deion Sanders just pretty much parted the Red Sea for black coaches to get opportunities in a Power 5. Deion Sanders in the big leagues now. This ain't SWAC. This is the Pac-12. You in the same, now you got a chance to compete for top 25. He got a chance to get Colorado as a top 25 school to compete for a national championship. That's way bigger than SWAC. Nothing against my black folks, but now he's in a bigger pond. He's with the big boys now. Okay? So y'all leave this man alone. This man is used by God. He prays to God. Everything he does is God's decision. He asked God what to do, and God told him that because Deion Sanders got discipleship. He got discernment. So I don't question nothing that God does. So I'm just going to clear that up now. And everything I told you is facts. If you don't believe me, y'all can go research this yourself. Go look all this stuff up. The man has done far too much for Jackson State for them to be unhappy with this man. So for him to be getting booed at that championship game, no, it's time for him to go. It's just time. Meanwhile, Brett Favre stole all his money from them, from a welfare scandal, so he took the welfare money that a lot of black folks, a lot of people that are poor need that money in Jackson State. Brett Favre using it to build a volleyball gym for his daughter at his old school. Money that he could have used on his own. Brett Favre got plenty of money. Brett Favre got more money than Deion Sanders, matter of fact, because Brett Favre was the bigger Hall of Famer. Even though Deion Sanders won more rings, Brett Favre was a quarterback at the end of the day. Way bigger, been around the league longer than Deion. Lasted longer than he did. Okay? So where's all this energy for Brett Favre? That's what people in Jackson State need to be focused on. Dr. Umar Johnson, Corey Holcomb's want to be Cedric Entertainer, stupid behind. I don't listen to him either. You know what I'm saying? My son, y'all quick to get on black folks. Get on Brett Favre. I don't know why y'all getting on Jerry Jones. Getting on Stephen A. Smith for defending Jerry Jones is petty. When even Stephen A. Smith got on Brett Favre, that's what y'all need to do. You need to all focus your attention on Brett Favre. Brett Favre should be in jail right now, to be honest. Don't get me wrong now. I like Biden finally sending Brittany Griner home. That's all good and all. I know about that too. That's a video for the other time. I'll talk about that probably this week coming up. But no, it's good that Biden has done that for Brittany Griner. But what are you doing about Brett Favre? That's what Biden need to be focused on. How is Biden gonna help the people in Mississippi? And I told everybody, Biden ain't your friend. Biden has not responded at all to this. So instead of people in Jackson State talking about Deion, you need to be focused on Brett Favre. That man stole thousands of dollars. But yeah, you want to get on Deion Sanders that gave your city 2 back-to-back state league championships in your college division, in your league. Y'all want to criticize this man for getting the opportunity to make it easier for black people to have better chances in these top 5, these top 25 Power 5 schools. Leave that man alone. But that's it. That's all I want to talk about. I just want to get that off my chest now. No, Deion, I salute you, brother. I pray you nothing but success. But wishing somebody fail, that's just low down. Anyways, y'all have a great night.